What up, y'all? It's Light Work with part 2 of Light Work and Alchemy. So as I was saying or ending on the last video, is that sometimes it can be hard to walk away, but that's going to be your best defense, right? And so when you think about it, divine alchemy is the process of transmuting attacks into ascension, showing that true power doesn't fight, it overcomes. Like, you're going to overcome it by standing in that strength that God will give you to do. So I guess to share some examples, right? Like I mentioned, the 3 snakes in my first video. The first 2 snakes, right, they like to argue all the time. And during a lot of their arguments, I was always the voice of reason. But they never wanted to reason. They like arguing. They like living in that dark energy. And that's a dark energy. Like, it's a lot of confusion and chaos. That's dark energy. And the crazy thing is that they tried to get me to be like them. They wanted me to be arguing back and forth and be combative and be in that type of energy. And it just was not me. Like, I was always listening to find like a common ground. Like, yeah, I mean, not only is it dark, it's low vibrational energy. And I know that term, I guess, has been thrown around a lot, but that's the truth. It is low vibrational energy. And like, when that didn't work, then they turned to bullying. They would say certain things that they knew was demeaning or disrespectful, and then they try to play it off or pass it off as, oh, we're just being a little rough. It's just a little rough talk. Nah, it's what it is disrespectful and coming off as demeaning is what it is. Yeah. And so in that situation, it was a lot of bullying coming at me. And it was crazy because sometimes they would take a situation and then like tag team me and bully me that way. And with the snake too, it came down to a bullying situation where it just came down to the point of me just getting up and walking out. And I never went back, never talked to her again. Yeah, and I mean, that was me not reacting because they were looking for a reaction. They wanted to drag me down to their level and react to their nonsense, and I didn't. What I did was turn my back and walked away. I took my self-respect and my power, and I walked away from the situation. And that's ultimately what you need to do as a person, but especially if you're like tapped in and you're someone that has a calling on their life. Yeah, for sure, you're going to need to do that. And so The last example with Snake 3, this dude put up like so many lies and illusions, and like y'all, like these people were like pulling on, siphoning my energy, like they were pulling on it, like. And so what I mean is, when people do that, they will, it's almost like, it's really like stealing your essence, like your energy. Because what happens is that these people then start to pick up your traits and your energy and start to like emulate you and start to do things like you. And so with Snake 3, it was funny. It was like he pulled so much on my energy, is that he was like mirroring myself. He was mirroring me back to me. And that way I wasn't really able to see like the illusions and stuff that he was putting up, because like I'm seeing him as myself, and like myself is pure. Like I'm pure in heart, and my intentions are pure, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like it's listen, I'm telling you, it's real and it's wild. Like, but a lot of times what the spirit was leading me to do was always ask a question, right? But every time I would ask a question, it was always met with a lie. Like, it wasn't ever telling the truth. Yeah, I mean, like, he claimed to be monogamous, and he was sleeping with like every dude he probably could lay his eyes on, every time I turn my back. He claimed he believed in God, but the whole time he's like a believer in like these false gods, this mommy wata spirit thing. Like, the problem is that God sees the heart, and this is, I mean, it came out. It's all on tape for everyone to see. Like, matter of fact, I have videos still from when I was there. But yeah, like, all three of these snakes are narcissists, and I realized that they have a weird obsession with sex. And I say that because, especially with Snake 3, my ex, he was using some type of dark magic as like a sex spell or something. Because I even at one point was like thinking to myself, like, is he putting something on his... Okay, I'm being vulnerable, and it's maybe TMI, but I'm like, is he putting something on his penis? Because I could, like, it was just weird, like the way that I was, engaging with it. But then come to find out, he did have like some type of, I don't know, food under his mattress. All right, so I'm gonna have to make a part 3. All right, y'all, peace.